Looking at the Kenyan context, what are some of the challenges that we are currently facing in Kenya's cities, and what are also development priorities for the country? I will walk you through a couple of the tools and digital tools that we have developed over the years, along with checking how do you build strategy, how do you develop tools, and then also how do you develop the adequate capacities. So, for instance, the Waste-Wise Cities tool, which is a tool deployed by UN Habitat in cities all around the world. We have implemented this tool and aspects of that tool in many different county governments already and cities. But here I'm zooming in on Homa Bay because we are here. So where we have conducted a waste audit in 2023. And but then from this waste audit, which helps you understand now the data, and you can look at this data on our data platform, the Waste-Wise Cities data platform. You can now select it along according to the country and then also the city within a country to see what are the volumes of waste that are being produced, what are the volumes of waste that is being recycled, and other statistics that are really useful for a county to now develop the next steps of actions. And so here we are going from an audit often to then developing waste management plans and strategies, but also to think how can we utilize this newly collected data that hopefully then is being collected very regularly, up maybe every year or every 3 years. And then how can that maybe also be used? How can this data be used to design digital platforms where data of the county interacts with other data as well? So we are in the process of that. Homa Bay is one of the counties where we have already conducted that audit. And then as a next step, you develop the adequate capacity within the county government. Next, we have started thinking together with cities around the world how we can better map the development of human settlements. Often you see settlements expanding spatially at a rapid pace. And so what we designed here was we wanted to understand how these processes actually happen. How do settlements actually expand? In which directions? With which speed? And often the existing data or tools that cities had were not sufficient. So for instance, if there's aerial imagery of the cities in question, you would have to collect these images at least every 6 months, if not more, to understand properly how the growth processes are occurring. And based on that, now we developed a tool that can help the city in improving decision-making processes around how that growth and the patterns of growth are happening exactly. And so how we did that is by looking at rooftops and then identifying these rooftops through machine learning. So it became an AI tool that helps us support local governments in now understanding how they need to take subsequent decisions. And so here you can see another example of that. We have started, the first city we did this project in was eThekwini in South Africa. We have since then deployed this in over 10 cities. And we are still currently in the process of doing that as well, including Nairobi. So this will be one of the cities on the map for the next year as well. So I mean, here you can understand what were some of the challenges. How did we then build this tool, which is called Beam? You can read more about Beam also in the materials that you have in front of you or on our website. But so the tool allows us to now have up-to-date data, understand spatially how these growth patterns occur, and then also optimize decision-making for local governments when it comes to spatial planning. And so here's the expanded deployment that we have now seen in different cities and countries around the world. We have 8 Central American cities where we have also started implementing this. And so these are some of the images from those deployments. So now moving to another very important part of urban life, basic services. So here you can see an example of a digital tool that we developed to help also, again, cities to build their own capacity on water management. And so here, okay, now I'm actually skipping. I'm moving to the next tool and coming back to the water example. So here, what we developed was a digital job card. So a city we worked with, or several cities we worked with in Namibia, realized there's a need for reporting challenges around maintenance of city infrastructure. And so what we then did is we worked with community, with local government and other partners to then think about how we can have a digital job card where you can easily take photos, where you can easily report back to local government and say there is an issue that needs to be addressed. And so then on the back end, we look at how to best report this data, how then a local government can best extract the needs that are there and deploy teams to then go and get the infrastructure repaired that is in need of repairing. And so this has been a successful case that we have already deployed in Namibia. So this is the dashboard that you can see, the back end. Here's some of the processes that we used, and then also there is the mobile app. Now coming back to the example on water, where we have worked in Hargeisa in Somalia. We have worked with government, with service providers or vendors of water and community to understand what the challenges are around water provision, especially for communities that are often left behind. And so that was a big challenge for the city to improve the access to affordable and safe water. And so what we did is we developed this ordering system where now water can be ordered based on demand at any time, and then certified vendors are connected to the platform that can then very easily deliver water to the places where there's a need. And so there's a triple kind of interface where one, you have the customers, and then here where you have the vendors that are being paired to now delivering water to a specific place, but you have also the administrator view where you can see all of these processes happening at once. So then I also wanted to give you an overview of some of the digital participation systems that we have developed. So the issue of participation is crucial because often we forget that residents have their own views on how city functioning should happen, and they have many good ideas that have to be captured in an innovative way. And cities have to identify these ways to engage residents adequately. And so we have worked in a couple of different cities on two major tools to engage communities adequately in decision-making processes. Here you can see an example from Botswana. And so what we have done here, this is an example from Brazil, is we developed a platform where where we gave residents an opportunity to respond to comment on, and to input ideas into this platform called AOV. And they could now basically share their thoughts and then rank these ideas. So you could essentially, when you see somebody making a statement in the platform, you could actually then say, I support this idea. And so basically they will be bumped up according to how many people interact with that particular idea, comment, suggestion, etc. And so what that results into is that now cities have a much more innovative and fast-paced way to engage and listen to people, to use these responses also for better decision-making. And then also it really helps to build something that is often overlooked, but that is trust. Because as local governments are operating, often city residents will feel like they have not really been part of those decisions that were taken. But this allows residents to feel like the cities would actually listen to them and also use their ideas and also implement them adequately. So this is one idea. Here you can see the deployment of the other tool that I just mentioned, that I just highlighted on the slide before, called DPAS, Digital Participation Platform. And so here we implemented that in Botswana, with the result of having increased inclusivity and transparency in these urban planning processes that we were undertaking. So another example of this is in Bangladesh, where now we applied this digital participation tool, AOV, in the context of a climate resilience initiative by the government, where then we allowed for this platform to be deployed so that people can also contribute their thoughts to how they want to see the project rollout of a climate resilience project. And this was done in 4 cities in Bangladesh. Interestingly here is that we also used another one of the methodologies that we also use at UN Habitat, which is called challenge-driven innovation. And challenge-driven innovation is interesting because it allows different stakeholders who are not usually part of a project delivery to co-create solutions based on challenges that have been identified at a start of a project. So for instance, at the start of the project, this project would say, we have challenges in the space of climate resilience. And then in the process of using challenge-driven innovation, you co-create the exact solution that then the city is going to implement together with partners. So now moving to another set of examples, we have built a platform for recovery after crises. And so what we have done is we understand that sometimes crises occur. They can be of different nature. They can be natural crises. They can be man-made. But in the context of any kind of crisis, what you need is having an adequate recovery or recovery strategy. And so what we then used for this digital dashboard, I'll show you on the next slide, is that now this helped to develop a much deeper recovery strategy, because recovery also means community recovery. It means infrastructure rebuilding. It means recovery of planning, of plans and other strategies that local governments and national governments had, and really rebuilding all of that. So it's not simply the recovery of infrastructure or housing only. And so that requires you to now understand the whole map of a city in a deeper contextual way. And so here, now let me see if this will start playing. It won't. There's a video. Can you click so that it starts playing? Just click on the image. Okay, so you can see that something is working here. So this is a recovery platform we built for several Ukrainian cities in the context of their recovery after war. But what you see here is then that this platform identifies different places of interest, and then based on that, you can take much better decisions as a local government. So for instance, here you could, in the drop down, identify where are the facilities, for instance, hospitals or schools, which ones of them are still intact, which ones have been destroyed. And so understanding the spatial setup of what is there and what is not, what needs to be where, helps in urban planning processes, helps in recovery and reconstruction processes as well. And so this has been a very useful platform also that we have used there, and we are also in the process of bringing that to other places around the world. So now I wanted to talk about AI, the hot topic of AI. I think we have understood that AI is an incredibly useful tool. Everyone has started using AI for their own day-to-day affairs, particularly, of course, using tools like ChatGPT, Copilot, etc. But now, when it comes to AI, there's also a lot of challenges that we have to understand very clearly. Challenges are around the governance of AI. So do cities or governments have ethical AI frameworks? Also, how has the AI model been trained on a particular topic is often something where we don't have a lot of clarity and there is bias. And so that means there's challenges then when utilizing that kind of data and you don't fully understand how this data was created. We also still have issues around digital inequality. So the digital divide continues to persist. But what are the opportunities of AI? AI has tremendous opportunities to build, to improve service delivery, and also to help in building capacities, specific capacities that are also useful for local governments, especially on the deployment or use of digital technology. And so, what we need here, what we can see here, is that it is very important for governments to then think strategically how we can channel some of the funds towards building that digital infrastructure that is in need of being invested in, but also how do we build the right kind of frameworks so that we also protect people's data, protect cities' existing frameworks that are there, and also how we use it actually to build the capacity. And so this is what I wanted to show you here. There is a lot of opportunities, but if you do it the right way, so you build the right kind of strategies and foundations first that protect people's data and systems at all costs before you then start deploying more complex AI systems. If you're interested in AI, we have developed an AI risk framework for cities' use. There's a whole publication around it, which is very interesting, but it goes in a lot of depth. And so that's something I can recommend you for reading as well. And now when we reflect on what kind of usage would we see of AI in local governments, here's a couple of examples. And I'm not going to talk about each one of them. But so, for instance, when we take the example of land management, how do you see AI supporting that? For instance, in the context of permits or planning, it can really help to streamline approvals, bring that to the local government level, and then also help in understanding what are authorized and what are not authorized kind of approvals, etc. So this is very useful. And then, for instance, in the context of water management, also you would be able to identify very quickly, are there contaminants, are there leaks, what are the usage needs in specific areas within a city, and how can we optimize water flows, for instance. So these are just some examples to help you reflect on how AI could actually address each one of the urban basic services challenge that your city faces, but also other challenges around, for instance, housing or informal settlements, or the delivery of other services like energy or mobility. And then also issues around governance or citizen engagement. Plenty of great examples of AI tools that are out there. And we also captured them in our many reports that we have, where there's a lot of case studies as well. So, I skipped a couple of slides. So this brings us to the end of this presentation of what kind of tools are there, what kind of tools have we developed, where has some deployment already happened. So this is kind of the summary of what we talked about today. We touched on the global themes, the Global Digital Compact, global digitalization processes that are happening. We talked about what is a smart city. We talked about why people-centered smart cities are so incredibly important. So for any county government or municipal board that is thinking about developing smart city projects, I think it is extremely important to start by thinking about what does your people-centered smart city look like, and how can we then include all of these different elements that I talked about in the right way. I gave you a snapshot of some of the digital tools and data dashboards that we have developed, and they were around mapping for human settlements, basic services, spatial decision support systems, digital participation systems. So these are some of the ones where I think there's an immediate opportunity, also maybe within your counties, and that are fairly easy to translate into real life contexts. So here's a couple of the sorry, I don't know what is going on. Here are a couple of the documents that you can read up more about. we as UN Habitat, we advocate for people-centered smart cities. We do in-depth research where we portray global data on smart cities. We also develop practical guides like those playbooks I mentioned to you earlier. And we also offer targeted technical support to local and national governments, for instance, in designing smart city strategies, national or local, and other documents. Lastly, I just wanted to invite you all to the World Urban Forum, UN Habitat's flagship event. We bring together 25,000 plus people every 2 years to a wonderful event. The next one is coming up in May 2026 in Baku in Azerbaijan, and it brings together the world community of urban development professionals. And you can see the theme is focused on housing, resilient cities and communities. And we herewith invite you and also your leadership. If your government leaders at county government or national government have interest, we also facilitate VIP invitations. So with that said, I would like to conclude and hand over to my colleagues. Thank you very much.
Okay, my name is Frederick Ochengoponda, Municipal Manager of Gunja. When we talk about smart cities, it tends to have a concentration, and the imagination of everyone is a city. You asked on the floor how many urban areas has adopted or is connecting to smart city, and there were really none. We just feel that this thing really needs to go down so that at least the locals start understanding and embracing this, what we call the smart city. Because when we talk about them, the imagination is really high, it's not here. To that extent, we would wish if such pilot programs would be undertaken, so that at least people start actually feeling what we're talking about, so that it's just the boardroom affair. If you talk about smart cities, it locks so many people who really need to benefit from this. Thank you.
This was just to give you an overview. And then we could have more in-depth discussions that we can also use your examples, you can present your case, and then we can also support you on how you can tackle that. So this is something that we can explore, but let me just give a chance to Isabel to respond.
Thank you very much, and thank you for your very practical and important questions. So I just wanted to respond to the lady from Kakamega. I think she addressed one or two really important questions that I think are applicable in the context of all counties. So one is, I think digital tools, if built in properly, can actually save a lot of financial resources for cities. And so this is not to be underestimated. Of course, you have to build the right kind of protection systems so that that the data that is stored digitally is also safe, that it is used by the right people, that it is updated frequently, etc. But that said, if you want to use a digital platform for engaging citizens, it could probably save a county government or a municipal board quite a bit of financial resources as well. All right. So that, I think that is something important. And I think then also on the issue around the digital divide, we do have very practical steps that a city can follow that are low in resources, where you don't need to spend a lot of resources to do very heavy, extensive surveys that cost a lot of money to understand where your digital divides lie within a city. But also we offer a very practical kind of tools that could also help now address the digital divide. And we are not advocating for consultations that will be very cost heavy or so, but really to understand that there's a lot of tools, digital and offline, where you can engage communities. And you'll be surprised. We have conducted trainings in the past in cities all around the world where we have, for instance, used the game called Minecraft. You might use that. Your children might use it. You might know it. I don't know. But so Minecraft has become a very useful, practical tool for us to have communities and people and even elderly people engage with it, to make very practical suggestions as to how to, for instance, change the design or layout of a public space according to their needs, according to their wishes. And you would be surprised that even the older people have had an ease to use it once they know, and once there's a computer in place and we guide people how to use it, which is very simple. People can actually do quite a lot without realizing that they do have some digital capacity as well, or literacy as well. And so we have tools that are effective in also how to engage people that might also be considered more digitally illiterate. So these are just 2 responses. I think we're running short in time, and I do still want to give the CEO of Conza the chance to make his closing remarks. But I would like to thank you all for participating, and also participating in our online survey. And I just want to summarize by highlighting that we as UN Habitat and UNITAC stand ready to support your county governments, your municipal boards, in any of these journeys where you feel you need support. We are here for conversations also after the closure of this session. We are here online via email and in other ways. So please come talk to us if you have ideas of how we can collaborate and how we can address some of the challenges that your counties might face. So thank you very much, and let me now hand over.
No, thank you. So I will ask Jeremiah just to come to introduce our last speakers. Also, a big thank you from my side. It has been a pleasure to be with you today. Just one final point that I think we didn't make it super clear. Everything that you saw here that we developed is open source, which means that there is no cost to use it. Everything that we developed is free of charge. So there is no license. It can be used by anyone who wants to learn and use the tools that we presented here. So let me just give the floor to Jeremiah. Thank you again.
Thank you so much. Let's give a round of applause to the technical team for the training. And as we wait for the CEO of Conza to come and give us the closing remarks, I just wanted to add to what my colleagues have said. We are looking forward to working with you in the municipalities. We are developing a program jointly with the Council of Governors, the Committee on Urban Development, and also through the caucus of municipalities and boards. I think Mr. Wanyonyi Buteo is around. And we will be coming to each of the municipalities. And thanks to the municipalities and boards that have already started talking, like Ndewa, Kakamega, Ugunja, we are looking forward to working with you. Our programs are already rolling out. We have done public spaces mapping. Thanks for the question you asked, Ikraf. And we've done public spaces across the country. In Kilifi, we are just finalizing one. In Lamu, another public space will be launched. And we are doing this through digital mapping. So we have all these tools to also come to your municipalities. Smart cities leader, Conza City. Now the floor is yours, because the question that was asked here is whether smart city discussions are just within the boardrooms, and whether they could go out also to the municipalities. I welcome you to make your remarks and also to close the session. Let's welcome the CEO of Conza, Mr. Dan Okwiri, to make the closing remarks.
Your Excellency, the Governor, Governor of Kitui County, Julius Malombe, and Ambassador Beatrice Karogo, and the UN Habitat team, Jerry, Isabel, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. Good afternoon once again. I'm here specifically to stand before you to act as the example of people who are building smart city from scratch and from greenfield. And I'll be responding to the question from the Ugunja municipality. So let me begin by appreciating the UN Habitat and the organizers of this devolution conference, including the county government of Homa Bay, for creating a platform to discuss sustainable urban development in the digital age. Our counties have contributed a great deal to the success of Kenya's devolution journey. Today's topic is therefore very timely, and as indicated, knowledge, data, digitalization, and capacity development in driving country's transformation. Konza Technopolis is one of Kenya's Vision 2030 flagship projects, designed to transition the nation from a resource-based economy to a knowledge-based economy. This vision is aligned with the global urban and economic trends, where cities are powered by data, digital innovation, and human capital. Konza Technopolis is a model smart city integrating ICT infrastructure, research, innovation, and entrepreneurship as growth drivers. We are developing infrastructure to support emerging technologies, artificial intelligence, Internet of Things, big data analytics, and cloud services that will shape the future of governance, commerce, and public services. In Konza, we are actually having the first Tier 3 data center that has been established and is currently fully operational. And we are offering various services to county governments, such as the county revenue management systems. We've been able to offer to various county governments. And through this data center, we are able to offer cloud solutions to our various customers. Our approach aligns with the UN Sustainable Development Goals, particularly goal number 9, which focuses on industry, innovation, and infrastructure, and goal number 11, which focuses on sustainable cities and communities. Through initiatives like the G2B Digital Enablement Program, Konza Technopolis is equipping thousands of young people with digital skills for local and global job markets. We are bridging the digital divide by providing access to digital labs, mentorship, and job linkages in ICT-enabled services. The aim is to prepare Kenya's youth for jobs, for digital jobs, ensuring that they can compete in the fourth industrial revolution. Counties can leverage data and digital tools to improve service delivery, urban planning, and citizen engagement. As Konza Technopolis, we've been able to support various county governments in as far as planning, physical planning is concerned. We've worked with Baringo County, and currently we are helping them to plan the industrial park. We've also worked with Bomet County to help them plan their ICT park. And currently we have been recently engaged by the Nandi County government, who are also working on planning for the ACZ in Nandi County. Municipal boards can adopt smart governance models. For example, GIS for urban planning, digital platforms for public participation. Yeah, one of our colleagues talked about it. And real-time service monitoring and data dashboards. Data-driven decision-making accelerates infrastructure development, improves resource allocation, and enhances transparency. Konza Technopolis works closely with the UN Habitat on knowledge sharing, sustainable urban development models, and smart city governance frameworks. This collaboration promotes capacity building for counties, fostering inclusive, safe, resilient, and sustainable cities across Kenya. Together, we are advancing Kenya's readiness for urban digital governance and supporting the creation of national urban knowledge base. I encourage all counties to embrace digital governance, invest in data systems, and foster innovation ecosystem at the local level. I also invite counties and municipalities to partner with Konza Technopolis as a hub for digital skills, innovation, and smart city solutions. As Kenya leaps into a knowledge-based economy, it is critical that we pull together our efforts. That is government, private sector, academia, and development partners to make this transition successful. I close with an open invitation, inviting all of you to Konza Technopolis to get a first-hand experience of Africa's Silicon Savannah. Thank you very much. Just I close. As I close, I needed to inform you that Konza Technopolis is happening. We've been able to master plan the 5,000 acres of land. We currently have activities going on there. Our office headquarters is in Konza Technopolis. We've been able to attract various anchor tenants. We have the Kenya Advanced Institute of Science and Technology, which is a graduate-only university that will focus on STEM at a graduate level. The university is now complete. The construction is complete. Currently, Ministry of Education is supporting to ensure that the university is able to get a charter, and that within the year we'll be able to be issued with a charter and the university will become operational. We also have the National Data Center, which is currently operational since 2021, and it is offering cloud solutions and ensuring that Kenya will lead in digital transformation. We are also in the process of attracting the Digital Media City, which is the financing has been completed and will be beginning the design work soon. And most importantly, we've been able to attract investors who have currently put in their investment in Konza Technopolis. And in next year, we'll be having our first residential development complete. And soon enough, we'll be able to live, work, and play in Konza Technopolis since the residential development will be complete. So within the features that were being presented here, the only thing that I've not ticked is related with the residential development. But I can assure you that if we are to do this again in the coming year, we'll be able to tick that. And Konza Technopolis will be the model smart city that all our counties and all our various municipalities will be able to emulate. We are also in the process of getting our Technopolis Bill and the Act, which will propose that we will be able to have a mandate of supporting various county governments in planning, in master planning, of how a smart city should look like. We had the privilege, Governor, of planning this city from scratch, from a greenfield. So we've not had the challenges of planning for a city in an environment where people already live. So we've planned our city through the support of various consultants who had already built smart cities before. And Konza Technopolis is now ready with all the infrastructure in place. And as UN Habitat will tell you, it's always important that cities are built before residents come. So in Konza Technopolis, that is what we focused on, that the city is ready before we have residents. And everything is in place, and we are proud to be supporting the government and ensuring that Konza Technopolis takes the lead in as far as smart city, smart, sustainable cities development is concerned. So thank you very much.